Was geht up, everybody? So I'm currently waiting to take a ferry from Klaksvik to Dalur to make my way to the island of Kalsoy. I have never been on a ferry, much less driven onto one, so naturally the sweaty palms and the nervous thoughts are beginning to cloud my brain. But hopefully everything goes okay and we make it to Kalsoy, because I'm actually going to Kalsoy because there's a very, very cool hike to do there called the Kallur Lighthouse. But anyways, I got here an hour and a half early because I've heard a bunch of horror stories of people missing the ferry. There's only a certain amount of cars that they let onto the ferry, which is about 17.
The drive onto the ferry actually ended up being pretty smooth. Something to keep in mind is that the local residents get priority and they automatically skip everybody in line too. The cost of the ferry was 160 Danish krones, which translates to about $25.
Yo, so I just pulled up to the trailhead, and honestly, the drive was pretty crazy. Tunnels were super narrow, but it's super foggy and I'm not feeling too confident about being able to see the lighthouse today. All in all, that's Faroe Islands. Super unpredictable weather. We'll just have to see. So I'm walking back to the car and I'm feeling a little sad, a little empty-handed, because I'm kind of leaving with nothing. But either way, I mean, that's something that happens when you come to a place like this where the weather is very volatile. Nonetheless, I still got a pretty decent hike in, so I'm happy about that. And I still got some decent shots. But I can say I've been to Kallur Lighthouse in the fucking wind. All right, so this Kallur Lighthouse Kalsoy trip ended up being a huge hassle, because I got back to wait in line for the ferry and I came back almost an hour and a half before the ferry took off, and I still did not make it. So I've been sitting here in my car for almost like 2.5 hours just waiting to get on the ferry. But the ferry's about to pull up, and hopefully I want to go home, check into my Airbnb and eat some food and drink a beer, because it's been a long day on the island of Kalsoy, and I wish it would have been worth it because the weather was terrible. But here we are. Hopefully everything turns out well.
So earlier that morning, I had actually checked out of my hostel, and I just want to give a quick shout out to this hostel, Giljanis, because it was honestly a great experience. It was actually the first hostel I ever stayed at, and at first, I won't lie, I felt a little bit weird because I had never really shared things or lived in a dormitory. It ended up being a great experience. I met some really cool people from all over Europe. It was so cool listening to all these different languages, all these different cultures. The host is a cool guy. It's cheap compared to anything else you'll find on the island. I mean, really cheap. There's also this cool cat who has absolutely zero cares for the world, and literally just chills and sleeps around people all day. If you come to the Faroe Islands, think about staying here. It's a really cool place to stay. And it's only about 5 to 10 minutes from the airport. I hope my precise tracing abilities are appreciated. But anyways, after spending 4 days on the island of Agar in the hostel of Giljanis, I moved over to Vedoi, where I found this really cool Airbnb, where I plan to spend my last 2 nights. Probably the most impressive part, the view.
So it's currently almost 1 in the morning, and as you can see, there's still a bunch of light out, and it ain't going nowhere until about 2 o'clock. It stays like this, and then the sun comes up.
I decided to spend my last day visiting some villages I had heard about. And little did I know that I was gonna see some puffins up close.
My final day in the Faroe Islands is coming to an end. I'm going to end it with a hike in Klaksvik. Yo, I saw this meme that said, who in their right mind goes on vacation to hike? Yo, I'm totally feeling that right now. I am tired. But all in all, it's always worth it. Always, always. The air always smells a lot better up here. Struck a little bit of bad luck again. Nothing but fog and clouds. It's about that time to head back. I gotta say, I'm gonna miss the Faroe Islands.
Wow, what a trip. A trip of a lifetime. Something that I have never experienced before. The Faroe Islands has been the highlight of my year. Honestly, a very surreal experience and something that I wish everybody could experience. Now, as I sit at home on a Sunday, waiting for tomorrow to go back to work, all I could think about is the green, luscious grass of the Faroe Islands. All I could do is look at my pictures and my videos and all the memories I have and hope that one day I can go back. With that being said, thank you for watching, and until next time.